Home Alone, the legendary Christmas film where the laughter of children and the sound of festive bells once warmed millions of hearts. Yet behind the endless giggles and the pranks of Kevin McCallister were lives marked by tears. The actors who once made us laugh on that snowy night, now many have passed away quietly, carrying untold tragedies. Is it possible that the spotlight is sometimes the very mask that conceals the deepest solitude? Let's explore the truth behind that glamour. John Candy as Gus Polinski, the bitter aftertaste of joy. John Candy was born on October 31st, 1950 in Toronto, Canada, and quickly became a beloved comedic face thanks to his ability to transform every role into an unforgettable memory. In Home Alone, he played Gus Polinski, the kind, funny polka king who brought moments of relaxation to Kevin and the audience. At the time, Candy was only 39 at the height of his fame after many other hit roles. Gus Polinski was a warm and cheerful image, but Candy's real life was far from simple. He struggled with severe obesity, persistent health issues, professional pressure, and profound solitude. Although he always made audiences laugh, John frequently wrestled with stress and a feeling of being misunderstood away from the spotlight. These personal tragedies gradually accumulated, eventually leading to a premature end. On March 4, 1994, John Candy passed away from a heart attack at the age of 43, just a few years after Home Alone premiered, leaving behind immense regret for Hollywood and global fans. He was interred at Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City, California. His net worth was estimated at about $15 million USD, a figure reflecting great financial success but unable to compensate for the loss of time and health. John Candy left behind an invaluable artistic legacy roles that brought endless joy and laughter, but also served as a reminder that even the people who make the world smile the brightest can face profound, silent tragedy outside the limelight. Erwin as Old Man Berger, Solitude in Opulent Light. William Lindsay. Erwin, born on December 2, 1914 in Texas, was a veteran actor with over 200 small roles in his career, but few knew about his private life. In Home Alone, he played Old Man Berger, the seemingly aloof but sincere and simple neighbor, appearing in a brief but deeply memorable moment. At the time, Erwin was 76, carrying the weight of long acting experience, but also the solitude many older actors face. Despite appearing in countless television and film productions, Erwin's life off-screen was quite quiet. He struggled to maintain his career as he aged, and major roles became rare, forcing him to confront the feeling of being forgotten in the industry to which he had devoted himself. The on-screen glamour could not dispel the real solitude he experienced daily. Erwin passed away on December 29, 2010, at the age of 96, resting in California, concluding a life of dedication but also much quietude. His net worth was estimated at about $1 million USD. Modest, but a true reflection of a life devoted more to art than to chasing fame or fortune. The legacy Erwin left behind is his roles, which although small always left a mark on the audience, reminding us that behind every smile on screen, there are silent and profound souls, sometimes sacrificing personal joy to bring moments of happiness to others. Robert's Blossom as Old Man Marley, the quiet man in the white snow. Robert's Blossom was born on March 25, 1924 in New York, USA, and was a deeply moving, unforgettable cinematic face. In Home Alone, he played Old Man Marley, the seemingly terrifying but genuinely affectionate neighbor who conveyed a message of forgiveness and reunion. When he joined the film, Blossom was 66, bringing warmth and depth to the role that immediately endeared him to audiences. Blossom's life outside the spotlight was not easy. He faced the pressure of age and the gradual fading away in the entertainment industry, struggling to maintain his acting career. The solitude, the restless nights contemplating roles and self-worth became parts of his memory that few knew about. Although his face appeared briefly on screen, every moment was imbued with a lifetime of dedication and silent hurts. Robert's Blossom passed away on July 8, 2011, aged 87, concluding a life full of contribution but not without solitude. He rests in New York, where family and colleagues remember a talented artist who rarely showed his sorrow. His net worth was estimated at about 500,000 USD, not large, but reflecting the simplicity of his life where art was placed above all fame. The mark Blossom left behind is his unforgettable roles, reminding us that behind the glamour of Hollywood, there are people who silently battle their own solitude and personal tragedy just to bring joy to the audience. Ralph Foody as Gangster. Johnny fleeting glamour, quiet real life. Ralph Foody was born on November 13, 1928 in Chicago, Illinois, and was an actor associated with impressively memorable cameo roles. In Home Alone, he appeared as the gangster Johnny in the fictional hazardous scenes, bringing subtle humor and tension, contributing to a memorable moment in the film. When he participated, Foody was 61 with a wealth of acting experience, but his private life concealed little-known sorrows. Away from the spotlight, Ralph Foody faced professional obscurity in the film industry. His small but significant roles made audiences remember his name, but were also a reminder of the limitations of age and career opportunities. Solitude, worries about the future, and the pressure to maintain his passion for acting were always present. He is proof that even brief, humorous roles can be drawn from a personal life of many struggles and anxieties. Ralph Foody passed away on November 21, 1999, at the age of 71, concluding the journey of a dedicated artist who was little known to the world. His resting place is a cemetery near his home in Chicago, where family and colleagues remember him. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at about 200,000 USD, modest compared to the artistic contribution he left behind. Ralph Foody's legacy is his roles, which though short are profound, reminding us that behind every smile or humorous scene, there are people silently enduring solitude, pressure, and ordinary life tragedies simply to bring joy to the audience. John Heard as Peter McCallister, the father beyond the limelight. John Heard was born on March 7, 1945 in Washington, D.C., and was a familiar face in many films and television shows. In Home Alone, he played Peter McCallister, the busy yet responsible father who always tried to keep the family together amidst chaotic moments. When he joined the film, Heard was 45 at a stable career stage, but his personal life was turbulent. Off-screen, John Heard dealt with deep stress. He went through broken relationships, a turbulent married life, and difficulties maintaining balance between work and family. Although he was the strong father figure on screen, in real life, Heard had to face solitude, loss, and prolonged psychological pressure. It was those personal tragedies that created the depth in his acting, making his roles feel genuine and relatable. John Heard passed away on July 21, 2017, aged 71, leaving behind immense sorrow in the art world. The cause of death was recorded as cardiovascular complications. He was interred in a New York cemetery, where loved ones remember a dedicated actor and a father troubled by his private life. Heard's net worth at the time of his death was estimated at about 250,000 USD. Not large, but reflecting a tireless devotion to art, rather than a craving for material wealth. John Heard left a legacy of vivid emotional roles, reminding us that behind the glamour and the laughter on screen, there always exist internal struggles, silent tragedies that the audience rarely knows about. Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McCallister, the little angel, lost in the limelight. Macaulay Carson Culkin was born on August 26, 1980 in New York, USA. In Home Alone 1990, at the age of 10, he transformed into Kevin McCallister, the boy who was accidentally left behind during a Christmas holiday and had to defend his home against two clumsy burglars. That role quickly made Culkin a global phenomenon, an icon of 1990s childhood. With a bright face, intelligent eyes, and a natural acting style, the young Kevin not only made audiences laugh but also touched viewers' hearts with his innocence and courage. Yet behind that radiant smile was a rather troubled childhood. When fame arrived too soon, Culkin had to bear a burden that no child should have to endure. His parents, instead of protecting him from the harsh glare of Hollywood, turned him into their main source of income. The battle between his parents to gain control of his fortune tore Culkin's childhood apart, caught between fame and adult greed. The lightning-fast rise to stardom also pushed him into isolation and mental crisis. Following the overwhelming success of Home Alone and Home Alone 2, Culkin was drawn into the vortex of fame, losing his friends, his privacy, and his real childhood. When his parents divorced, he had to go to court to regain control of his own assets, a legal battle that few children ever have to face. After stepping away from Hollywood, Culkin plunged into dark years, depression, addiction, and a loss of direction. The former spotlight vanished, leaving behind a lost young man labeled a failed child star. But the admirable thing is that Culkin did not collapse. He gradually rediscovered himself pursuing music, independent acting, and living a quieter life, staying far from controversy. Macaulay Carson Culkin was born on August 26, 1980 in New York, USA. In Home Alone 1990, at the age of 10, he transformed into Kevin McCallister, the boy who was accidentally left behind during a Christmas holiday and had to defend his home against two clumsy burglars. That role quickly made Culkin a global phenomenon, an icon of 1990s childhood. With a bright face, intelligent eyes, and a natural acting style, the young Kevin not only made audiences laugh, but also touched viewers' hearts with his innocence and courage. Yet behind that radiant smile was a rather troubled childhood. When fame arrived too soon, Culkin had to bear a burden that no child should have to endure. His parents, instead of protecting him from the harsh glare of Hollywood, turned him into their main source of income. The battle between his parents to gain control of his fortune tore Culkin's childhood apart, caught between fame and adult greed. The lightning-fast rise to stardom also pushed him into isolation and mental crisis. Following the overwhelming success of Home Alone and Home Alone 2, Culkin was drawn into the vortex of fame, losing his friends, his privacy, and his real childhood. When his parents divorced, he had to go to court to regain control of his own assets, a legal battle that few children ever have to face. After stepping away from Hollywood, Culkin plunged into dark years, depression, addiction, and a loss of direction. The former spotlight vanished, leaving behind a lost young man labeled a failed child star. But the admirable thing is that Culkin did not collapse. He gradually rediscovered himself pursuing music, independent acting, and living a quieter life, staying far from controversy. Today, Macaulay Culkin, at 45 years old, is married to actress Brenda Song and has a small, happy family. He has chosen a simple life, no longer chasing fame, only occasionally appearing in artistic projects that he truly loves. Culkin's net worth is estimated at about $18 million US, $18,000 USD. But for him, the greatest value is not in money, but in the peace and freedom found after the years of turbulence. The role of Kevin McCallister will forever be an emblem of Christmas joy. But Macaulay Culkin's life is a profound reminder of the cost of premature limelight, a place where a child's smile sometimes has to conceal wounds that never fully heal. Billie Bird as the Great Aunt McCallister, the quiet shadow behind the glamour. Billie Bird was born on February 28, 1908 in Pocatello, Idaho, and was a veteran actress with over 6 decades dedicated to the stage and television. In Home Alone, she appeared as the Great Aunt McCallister, the image of the caregiver worrying about the family, bringing warm moments amidst the chaotic situations. When she joined the film, Billie was 82 years old, but her vitality and passion were still evident in every small expression on screen. Beyond the role, Billie Bird's life was quiet and full of challenges. She had to face the difficulties of old age in the entertainment industry, where opportunities gradually became scarce, and fading from the spotlight often made her feel forgotten. Although she consistently brought smiles to the audience, Billie experienced silent sorrows, solitude, and the pressure to maintain her career in an ever-changing industry. Billie Bird passed away on November 27, 2002, at the age of 94, concluding a long life devoted to art and tireless contribution. She was interred in Los Angeles, where colleagues and fans remember a passionate artist who rarely revealed her private sorrows. Her net worth was estimated at about $500,000 USD, modest, but reflecting a simplicity and dedication to art over fame or fortune. Billie Bird's legacy is her roles, which although small are warm and profound, reminding us that behind every smile on screen are people who silently battle solitude, old age, and ordinary life tragedies to bring joy to the audience. Larry Hankin as Old Man Gus, the joy that endures. Larry Hankin was born on December 7, 1937 in New York, USA, and is a veteran actor with a career spanning stage, television, and film. In Home Alone, he appeared as Old Man Gus, the small but memorable neighbor who brought humorous moments and contributed to the film's charm. When he participated, Hankin was 53, still full of passion for acting and continuously pursuing diverse roles. Although he is still alive and actively working, Larry Hankin's life has not been easy. He went through professional challenges having to compete with younger actors facing minor or overlooked roles. Professional pressure, age, and solitude occasionally crept into his life, but Hankin maintained an optimistic spirit and a passion for the stage. The contrast between his humorous, radiant on-screen image and his nights of contemplation and self-doubt off-screen makes his story even more humane. Currently, Hankin is 87 years old, actively participating in artistic projects, inspiring the younger generation of actors with his perseverance and dedication to his craft. His net worth is estimated at about $2 million USD, sufficient to maintain a simple life but still showing a resilient and deeply committed career. Larry Hankin's legacy is his roles, which, although small, are vivid and meaningful, reminding us that behind the humorous smile on screen always exist efforts, tragedies, and silent resilience that few know about. His persistence and passion are proof that the spotlight may fade, but the artistic spirit never dies. Gerry Bamman as Uncle Frank McCallister, the father beyond the limelight. Gerry Bamman was born on September 18, 1941, in Independence, Kansas, USA, and is a veteran actor with many memorable roles on stage and screen. In Home Alone, he played Uncle Frank McCallister, the stern but loving father figure, creating moments that were both funny and touching. When the film premiered, Bamman was entering his late 40s, a phase where many actors have to balance roles with the pressure of age, yet he perfectly conveyed the character's depth, away from the spotlight. Bamman's life was not entirely easy. He faced challenges in his acting career as leading roles became scarcer, and the feeling of being forgotten was always present. Solitude, long nights of questioning his self-worth, and professional pressure are sorrows little known to the public. Although on screen he brings the image of a relatable father figure, in real life, Bamman went through difficult times where smiles and success only partially concealed silent tragedy. Currently, Gerry Bamman is alive and active in the entertainment industry at the age of 84, continuing to take on supporting but deeply characterized roles, leaving his mark on the audience. His net worth is estimated at about $1.5 million USD, enough for a simple life, but not fully reflecting the effort and dedication poured into his art. Bamman's roles remind us that behind every touching moment on screen, there are people silently enduring tragedy and solitude, and thanks to them, those stories become vivid and memorable. Joe Pesci as Harry Lyme, the smile that hid the storm. Joe Pesci was born on February 9, 1943 in Newark, New Jersey, USA, and is one of Hollywood's most outstanding actors with the ability to transform from humorous to dark. In Home Alone, he played Harry Lyme, the clumsy but cunning thief, creating situations that were both suspenseful and hilarious. When the film premiered, Pesci was 47, rich with experience and professional confidence, but his personal life was not always as radiant as his on-screen image. Away from the spotlight, Pesci faced many challenges, from work pressure to turmoil in his private life. Despite being famous and loved, he had to deal with solitude, isolation, and a feeling of never being enough for himself. The humorous, skillful roles on screen were sometimes just a shell covering internal struggles, worries, and silent losses. This contrast makes Pesci's real-life story both profound and little known to the public. Joe Pesci is still alive, entering his 82nd year. He has largely withdrawn from the Hollywood spotlight, but still leaves his mark through classic works and unforgettable performances. His net worth is estimated at about $80 million USD, reflecting a brilliant career success, but not exempting him from the sacrifices and pressure required to reach the top. Pesci's legacy is his multi-layered roles which both make the audience laugh and feel suspense, reminding us that even the people who bring joy and entertainment to the world have to face tragedy, solitude, and silent internal struggle. Terrie Snell as Aunt Leslie, the quiet shadow behind the laughter. Terrie Snell was born on January 10, 1944 in the USA, and is an actress associated with many subtle supporting roles on screen. In Home Alone, she embodied Aunt Leslie, the kind aunt who brought moments that were both warm and humorous, contributing to the liveliness of the entire McCallister family. When the film premiered, Snell was 46, having spent many years in acting, but her personal and professional life was still full of challenges. Beneath the spotlight, Terrie Snell's life was not always bright. She faced professional pressure and the feeling of being forgotten as she aged along with silent sorrows that few knew about. Although on film she conveyed a warm and relatable image in real life, she had to face days of anxiety difficulties balancing her craft and life in silent solitude. It was those experiences that created depth in her acting, making her roles vivid and memorable. Terrie Snell is still alive at the age of 81 and maintains her passion for art in her own way, though she rarely appears in public. Information about her net worth is not disclosed, but her contributions to art are still highly valued. The legacy Terrie Snell left behind is her small but emotionally rich roles, reminding us that behind every humorous or warm moment on screen, there are people silently enduring tragedy, solitude, and private struggles just to bring joy to the audience. Catherine O'Hara as Kate McCallister, the silent worry behind the laughter. Catherine O'Hara was born on March 4, 1954 in Toronto, Canada, and is a famous comedy drama actress with the ability to make every role vivid and profound. In Home Alone, she embodied Kate McCallister, the devoted mother constantly worrying about Kevin, conveying emotions that were both tense and warm. When the film premiered, O'Hara was in her late 30s at a peak career stage, but behind the glamour were pressures and personal worries little known. Although she consistently created moments that made the audience laugh or empathize, Catherine experienced challenges in her personal and professional life. Balancing work, family, and the continuous pressure of Hollywood was a difficult journey. Anxiety, long nights of worry, and small losses in daily life partly created the depth in her acting, making each role not only vivid but also deeply humane. Catherine O'Hara is still alive and actively working in the entertainment industry at the age of 71, participating in many film, television, and comedy projects while inspiring the younger generation of actors. Her net worth is estimated at about $30 million USD, reflecting a brilliant career success, but also accompanied by sacrifices and relentless effort. Catherine O'Hara's legacy is her roles, which are both funny and touching, reminding us that even the people who bring joy and laughter to the world have to face tragedy, pressure, and silent internal struggles, and it is that struggle that creates the depth and authenticity of their art. Daniel Stern as Marv Murchins, the tragedy hidden behind the laughter. Daniel Stern was born on August 28, 1957 in Bethesda, Maryland, USA, and is a famous actor, director, and screenwriter with many multifaceted roles. In Home Alone, he embodied Marv Murchins, the clumsy but humorous thief creating situations that were both suspenseful and hilarious. When he participated in the film, Stern was 33, full of energy, and simultaneously facing the professional pressures of a young actor making a name for himself. Away from the spotlight, Daniel Stern faced many personal and professional challenges. Leading roles did not always come regularly, and maintaining a career in a highly competitive environment meant he went through long nights of contemplation and feelings of solitude. Although Marv on screen brought laughter to the audience, Stern also silently battled worries and professional pressure, adding depth and authenticity to each role. Daniel Stern is still alive, entering his 68th year, continuing to participate in many film and television projects, both acting and directing. His net worth is estimated at about $15 million USD, reflecting a persistent, dedicated career, but not without challenges and sacrifices. Stern's legacy reminds us that behind the laughter on screen, there always exist people silently enduring tragedy, solitude, and pressure, and it is that struggle that creates the depth and vitality of their art. Alan Wilder as the ticket agent. The faint light behind the scenes. Alan Wilder was born on September 24, 1953 in Chicago, Illinois, USA, and is an actor who participated in many supporting roles on the small and large screen. In Home Alone, he appeared as the ticket agent at the train station, a small role, but one that contributed to the humorous moments and lively rhythm of the story. When he joined the film, Wilder was 37 years old at the age when an acting career demands proving one's capability while simultaneously facing the challenges that come with the profession, where the spotlight does not always reach small roles. His life off-screen was not as radiant as the on-screen visuals. Wilder struggled to find noticeable roles, endured harsh competitive pressure, and confronted feelings of displacement within the entertainment industry. Although on film he delivered laughter and humor in real life, he went through long nights of contemplation and self-doubt. The distance between the on-screen glamour and the reality of his personal life is the silent tragedy that many artists endure. Alan Wilder is still alive, continuing to pursue art in his own way, maintaining his passion for acting and creativity. Information about his net worth has not been disclosed, but his long-standing dedication and commitment to his craft are clear testaments to his persistent spirit. Wilder's legacy reminds us that even small roles have value, and behind every laugh or successful scene there are people silently enduring solitude, tragedy, and pressure simply to bring a vivid experience to the audience. Kristin Minter as Heather McCallister, the shadow behind childhood laughter. Kristin Minter was born on January 16, 1965 in Los Angeles, California, USA, and is an actress familiar from memorable supporting roles on screen. In Home Alone, she played Heather McCallister, the older sister in the McCallister family, a small character who contributed to Kevin's personality and the humorous story. At the time she joined the film, Minter was in her 20s, a phase that was both full of energy and confronted by the early challenges of the entertainment industry. Away from the screen, Kristin struggled with the typical professional pressures of a young actress, scarcity of leading roles, fierce competition, and anxiety about maintaining a long-term career. Although on film, she conveyed a radiant image, Minter also went through solitary days, worries, and self-doubt about her value in real life. It was these difficult experiences that created depth in her acting, making every brief on-screen appearance memorable. Kristin Minter is still alive at the age of 59, occasionally participating in television and film projects while maintaining her passion for art in her own way. Information about her net worth is not disclosed, but her contributions to art are a testament to her persistence and dedication. Kristin Minter's legacy is her subtle roles reminding us that behind the laughter and humorous moments on screen, there are people silently enduring tragedy, pressure, and solitude to bring joy to the audience. Senta Moses as Tracy McCallister, the hidden corner behind the child's smile. Senta Moses was born on August 8, 1973 in Elmhurst, Illinois, USA, with Italian and Lebanese ancestry. In the film Home Alone 1990, she played Tracy McCallister, one of the older cousins in the McCallister family, appearing with innocence but contributing to the very memorable, chaotic atmosphere. When the film was shot, Moses was only 16 years old, a youth full of energy but also having to step into a harsh industry. Away from the screen, Moses's journey was not simple from appearing as a baby model. She was a commercial model when she was only a few months old to moving to California to study at a prestigious film school. She endured years of competition and self-doubt about her worth. Although the role of Tracy made an impression on audiences in real life, Moses had to cope with the feeling of being seen but not always remembered, and with an acting career that was not always as brilliant as her on-screen childhood. She is currently alive and active in the entertainment industry at the age of about 53, continuing to take on television and small film roles, although there are no clear and fully verified details about her net worth. Her persistence and commitment to her craft are what is truly valuable. Senta. Moses' story is a gentle reminder that behind every tearful smile on screen, especially when youth is placed under the spotlight, there are always people carrying worries, sacrifices, and unfulfilled dreams. Home Alone is not just a classic comedy film tied to the childhood of millions of viewers. but also a multifaceted portrait of the people behind the screen. The actors who appeared in the film, from the main roles like Catherine O'Hara, Daniel Stern, Joe Pesci, to the supporting roles like Alan Wilder, Kristin Minter, or Senta Moses, all carry rich, real-life stories, sometimes full of tragedy, solitude, and pressure that the audience rarely knows about. Although they brought smiles and laughter to the world, behind that glamour were silent struggles, losses, and hidden difficulties that only they could feel. Their roles, whether large or small, not only live in the audience's memory, but are also testaments to persistence, dedication, and professional spirit. Those real-life stories make us realize that art is always intertwined with humanity, and every smile on screen has its own story, sometimes profound and sorrowful. Share with us the character you remember the most in Home Alone, and don't forget to like and subscribe to explore more touching backstage stories where the screen's light is always accompanied by the silent tragedies behind it.